Then all of a sudden, in August, I saw pictures of his wedding. He got married. I was shocked.
Hey guys, welcome to another video. This video that I really want to show you will really blow your mind up. Do you know that it is very risky to do some investment that is highly risk and that can really give you an heart attack? There was a lady in this video that did an investment with a man, and this investment led her into a big problem. Well, she brought the man to the court so that she can get justice. For you to understand this video very well, let's watch the video together.
Before 2021, I didn't know about Mr. Gbenga here. As of January 2021, I was discussing with a colleague of mine that I needed to do an investment with the funds I had left over from the festive period, so that it will be sufficient for me to pay my rent, and also my mom has some health challenges that will need funds second quarter of the year according to the medical doctor. So I needed an investment that I will get funds raised from that. 2 weeks later, he told me about an investment Mr. Gbenga is doing with his organization. So I decided to see him, which I called Mr. Gbenga. We discussed on phone. He told me about it, and he was even eager to tell me more because I was.
What's the investment about?
It's a trading investment.
Forex.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it Forex?
Yeah, Forex.
It's Forex. Yeah.
And because then I thought it was Bitcoin. Just told me crypto trading. I told him about what the business is. I want to know if it's registered, if it has any form of like a legal look fish to it and everything. So he was like, yes, the company, he has a company name, but it was not registered, and the point I was raising was valid. So if we could meet, he would love that. So we had a meeting. We discussed a lot about that. I was telling him that if only he can get the company license. So I told him about that. So he was like, okay. I was like, even if people are paying for the investment and they pay into an official account, it makes it more reasonable and people will even want to do business with you. He saw reasons with a lot of things I said. And then the first fund I sent to him was, I think, 200,000. But we had not decided on the duration that we do the investment for. So the fund was still hanging. So when he sent me the MOU to sign, he had already signed it. I took a good look at it. I manage documents for where I work, so I have an idea of how official documents should look like. So I pointed out some errors to him that I felt the MOU needed to have a better look. The placement of their logo was just scattered. So I laid the complaints to him, and he looked at it and he said, okay. He now did a review of the document and sent it to me, which I signed. All this while, I never knew about any other company he was working with. I was dealing with him directly. I was so confident about it because he told me that he's going to do it himself. He got trained last 2020. He got trained for like, I think, about 3 months, and it was even his fiance then that had paid for the training. So he was already good in it and all that. So I was so confident that he was the one going to run the trading. So even if there's going to be issue, he can discuss it with me ahead of time, because he also explained the volatile nature of the trading to me. And I was so confident because even all the while, if there were any issues, anything, he always related to me. So at the end of the day, I told him, okay, I'll do the 200,000 around for 6 months. Then I gave him another 100,000 that I'll do for 3 months. That one was going to be for my rent. Then the 200,000 was going to be for my mom's health. And then he now said, okay, then he drafted out the MOU for both and sent to me. Then I think towards the end of the month, all this was in February, but because we met, I think, second week of February after my colleague had told me about him. So at the end of February, I had 65,000 naira. I called him one day. I said, Gbenga, I have one careless 65,000 naira, but I think I'll need it by the end of March. How about I put it in the investment? Even if it's going to add only 5,000 naira, I don't mind. I was like, wow, you just like how to make your money grow every time. I'm like, well, lying in the bank wouldn't help me. So I sent 65,000 naira on, and after a month, I got 78,000 naira returned to me. That even gave me much more confidence that he was doing the trading himself, because he was always telling me that he was checking online for it, to monitor it and everything. So I was more than confident in doing business with him. So as at I think May, I got a call from him that because as at March, I knew how when the Bitcoin went down, I think from 50 to about 35,000. I knew about. So when he called me, I wasn't even surprised, but I was even thinking, okay, what can we do to salvage this situation? Maybe to make the interest rates different or better. He now told me that okay, that they want to reduce. I can ask anybody that is into Bitcoin investment or cryptocurrency investment that they are reducing their interest rates, so they're not going to pay us the initial interest rate. I was like, well, I'm not investing with you now. We invested with you before this happened. He was like, okay, he can work around it. For us that initially invested, especially because of his friend, who is my colleague, they've gone a long way. He's like his brother. So since we invested through him, and for the fact that we invested before that crash, he'll find you working around to ensure that we maintain the same figures that we're expecting at the end of the duration. Meanwhile, this investment, you don't get the ROI monthly. It's calculated till the end of the investment, and you get both your capital and the ROI. So I was like, okay, I remember Mom's health and my rent, so we need to actually ensure that it's something that is workable. Are you sure you can do that? He said, okay, no problem. And then in June, the story totally changed. He called me one day and was sounding down. I was like, what happened? He said, the mother company has issues. I said, I don't understand what you mean by mother company has issues. He said, and they did, I know that Bitcoin went down. I said, yes, I know that. And they did a lot of wrong investments, and now it has crashed and our monies are affected. I'm like, Benga, you are not doing the trading yourself? He said, no, that he wasn't doing it. So I said, but you didn't even tell me about this. You didn't tell me you're giving my money to anybody. You told me you were going to do it yourself. If there was any issue, you would call me even before it happened, so that even if it means we have to withdraw our money, we withdraw, just so I will be safe, and you knew the criticality of the funds I need. He now said, and see, at this point, doesn't even know what he can do, because the company is giving him excuses, and he doesn't even know if we want to hold him, we should hold him. He doesn't know what to do. That if I want to come to his house, I can come and carry whatever I see in the house and go with it. I'm like, Binga, this is not what we discussed or what we agreed on. But however, just try and manage other people. Me, I have a relationship with you, and I understand where you're coming from. So let's just see how it goes if you get better. Because you're telling me that they were saying 1 month to pick up. I'm like, okay, no problem. Even if it's August or in fact September is fine by me. I had given him till September. Then all of a sudden in August, I saw pictures of his wedding. He got married. I was shocked. Because in February when we met, he told me his fiancé paid. So I was even teasing him that when will you marry this young lady that has invested so much in you just for you to be a better person? And he was like, he was looking at March or April, but things are not looking stable for him at that point in time. So maybe later in the year or next year. I'm like, okay, whenever. Now I've shown my Shobi and I'm waiting. So when I saw his wedding pictures in August, I was extremely upset, because this is somebody that said he didn't have money and our monies were gone. All of a sudden it's not parlor wedding. It was a very massive wedding to my own understanding, for someone that did not have funds as at February to marry, and then you lost people's investments and you are having such a wedding. I was so upset. I just called my colleague to tell you, do you know that when guys got married? He said, he saw him posting something about wedding on WhatsApp, but he wasn't sure if he was going to get married or it was for somebody else. I just sent him the pictures of the wedding. See, Benga has gotten married. Then I said, how would you be owing people and then you just get married? In fact, for the fact that we have a relationship, even if it's just to tell us, because we've almost gone beyond doing only business. And I think I tried to reach him. He was not picking. He was not responding. Finally, when he responded, he now tried to say that the wedding is not as I'm looking at it, because it was almost like everybody picked what they wanted to pay for in the wedding and they paid for, so it wasn't solely his own responsibility and everything. I'm like, Benga, you're marrying a human being. You have to take care of her. You have to put her in a place. So that means you have funds to do all that. At least, even if it is just to reduce our money to a reasonable extent, it will even calm our nerves. He was just pleading. I said, okay, Benga, I'm in a critical fix, because at that point in time I was diagnosed with fibroid. My mom's health condition had deteriorated. Her heart was seriously failing. I had not paid my rent. I was out of it. It was a very critical time in my life. I now looked for 50,000 naira. I gave it to him because I was just being considerate. because he told me that the wedding was not organized by him, he didn't have the money and all that, and I really needed money for my mom's health. There was nothing I could do. My mom's bill was almost 400k. My fiber surgery was going to take nothing less than that same amount, and my rent was 200,000. So I now called Binga. He told me that he was trying to recover people's money. So now he was trading himself. And what he does is he will create the wallet for you. You'll be able to see how he trades every day, and you get your interest. In fact, if you want to withdraw yourself. If you want to top up, you top up yourself. So I was now confident. I said, okay, Binga, how much can I be making every week on this platform so that at least I can, even if it's off my mom's health, I can save. He now said that okay, I might be getting 5% every week, but it might even be more. So he's just saying 5 because that's the barest minimum I will get in a week. I said, okay, I'm not giving 50,000 naira, so at least the money would grow to reasonable so I can do part payment for my mom's health. And then I think the first 3 weeks it was okay. In fact, I think the first 5 weeks it was okay. And then all of a sudden the thing was not moving again. Like, what's going on? He was said that he placed one trade with plenty people's money. I don't know whether we're now collectively. I don't know how he explained it because I didn't understand. Like, Binga, this is supposed to be my own. You know what's on ground. I have critical issues on ground. He just kept giving excuses. I had to remove that money, even as little as it was then, pay for part payment of my mom's health and all that. At that point in time, I had no option. I had to look for a loan from rent money, which I used to settle my mom's health. It was still not sufficient because my rent was pending. Now, because rent money will not give you money if you collect, your rent money will not give you more than what your salary can accommodate. So I collected what I used to pay my mom's health challenge. Then my landlord, my caretaker was now on my neck. I had to look for another means. So I had to apply to my bank, and my bank gave me loan. So I paid for my rent, and then I had to transfer myself back to Plateau State to have my surgery done. That was at the end of last year. All these processes, Binga was in the know. I told him every time. In fact, for everything I did, I told him, Binga, I had to collect loan from rent money now to actually pay for my mom's health. He said, I should not worry. Every time I asked him for, okay, what's the plan? What are we going to do? He will now tell me that I should not worry. There's nothing God cannot do. Every time he keeps telling me there's nothing God cannot do. And I'm like, Binga, I know that there's nothing God cannot do, but I didn't give God my money. I gave you my money, and you told me in fact, the assurance he gave me was more than 1,000%. And I'm like, Binga, this is not what we agreed on. Okay, please. Now, all I want is, what's the plan for you to pay me? At least so I'll be able to pay back the loans and then be able to be okay. He now said, that there's nothing God cannot do. It was from my colleague, and now he was saying that we should give him a healthy 1 year. He didn't even tell me that because he knew what I was going through. And if he had told me 1 year, maybe I would have fled up because he knew I was going through a lot. He said healthy 1 year. I just laughed at my colleague. I said healthy 1 year, okay. When I now asked him, I heard that you're saying healthy 1 year. He said, that because things will not stabilize till maybe after a year, but there's nothing God cannot do. I said, Binga, there's nothing God cannot do, is not helping me. Meanwhile, I had already applied to Justice Corps because I saw the program on YouTube and I had applied, and I was just hoping that I was going to get called. All I want is the duration for how you're going to refund my money. I'm currently soaked in debt for rent money and my bank loan. And even as I speak to you at the moment, my rent is already due. And I've not even paid this year's own. And I hate owing.
So, Binga, what's your response to all this? What happened from there?
Thank you very much. 2020, I met a young man through my junior sister, so he told me about this investment of a thing. And I tried. My wife also tried. Then she was a fiancée then, so we tried then. So he gave me money due to he was the president of the one fellowship in their school, FUNAP to say. So it was like my junior sister was like, but I trust this guy, this. I said, well, are you sure? If I have to question my junior sister, do you know this stuff? He said, Mr. Barabinga, I know the mother, I know the father, I know everything. The moms worked with this, the father works with an NPC. So those assurances he gave me, my junior sister now. I said, no problem. So we tried first with something. That was around August, after the lockdown, during that time. So we gave him the money to just for a year, at least around 200 plus. Let's see what can come out of it. So around December, I don't have any work then. So I went to meet this guy in person. I said, wow, can I partner with you? I want to learn this stuff. Then he said he's going to teach me, and he gave me a teacher then to start teaching me. But I was foolish because the young man that was teaching me was just 4 months in the game. So on the long run, So I told him, can I partner with you? Can we just start something? He said, no problem, Mr. Benga, just create your brand. So meanwhile, I was this very, very assured about his Christian life, all those stuff, which I was watching. That when I went to his office, I know a little about him. My junior sister, the way you know. So this December period, we met. They had a get together in the office, Purple Gold. So a lot of partners came in. So and a pastor came in to talk that day, which gave us assurance that this. If I have to call the pastor, I said, are you sure? Because my name, I work under a bishop. I told him a lot of things. He said, Mr. Benga, this. January, I started. So that was when January, yes, that was when she said I've not yet registered yet. So she was giving me a lot of ideas to do this, which was fantastic. If I have to bring him, I have to tell her, I would like you to just, work with us because, with your level of experience, this. So, January, I collected some fund, not only a fund, from some people, close friends. In fact, the friends that introduced me to happens to be a friend we work together in Mama Cass that knows my humble beginning. So he asked me, Benga, I said, Francis, you know me very well. If I will do some certain things, not at this stage that I've worked on myself. When I was a driver, I didn't steal. When you guys were doing a lot of things in the company, you should know me very well. So Francis was like, I trust Benga. So that was when Francis brought in Ella. Then I told Ella, truly, I was learning. I was not trading. I was learning. So I was following the markets. Around February, March, I tried a little capital to see the level of my experience so far. When I discovered this thing is just beyond a month. So when I started meeting a lot of experts in the game, they told me, for you to know this thing is going to take you 2 to 3 years, which I accepted my fate. I said, no problem. April, when the Purple Gold company, well, I was expecting a lot of my own money, I invested with them. Wow, you guys should pay us up. There was nothing. I'm this kind of person, I don't know how to deceive myself. So I have to just send the memo to everybody, all the partners that partner with me. There's an issue, this. And I went to the guy's company to meet him. What's the solution about? In fact, it was around 1 a.m. in the night. The hotel they kept me, I was like, what's the solution to this problem? Mr. Benga, we're working on some certain things. We'll do this. We're going for 100 million naira loan. I said, okay. I can say God just saved me because the money I had with him was not much. It was just so unfortunate that people the little was at least around, let me say, 2.7 to 3 million. The elder brother, which happens to be the CEO, came to Lagos. So I told them, can we just invite this young man to come around to my place? So he came to Lekki. So I said, let's invite him. In fact, I was posting a lot of things which everybody was following. So I called the young guy. The guy came. Wow, I lodged him in hotel, Nero Hotel. The following day, he came to my house. So I opened the system to, at least you call yourself the CEO. I've been struggling with this thing. At least narrate some things to me. If you truly know this thing, teach me what you guys are doing. But when I discovered he could not even do anything, I had to come to my junior. I said, I didn't know we're in problem. We're in trouble. I said, if a CEO of a company cannot just analyze the market, say, Mr. Benga, you just have to come to the office. Then I was suspicious because his movement was not comfortable in the house. Mr. Benga, you need to come and say a strategic analyst. Why? He said, because I just gave the money, I was not going there again after the December stuff. So during that process, I went down to the office. When I met the analyst, when the analyst was talking, which went to the screen, this. So I look at their talk. It was not showing professionals. So when I go back to Lagos, I told my sister, I said, Dami, we have a lot of issues because these guys have caused us a lot of problems. Then Dami said, no problem. What am I going to do? I was working, I teach music. So some schools I work with in Lekki, I have to just tell them I will be stopping because I need my time to go and learn this thing very, very well. So I stopped about 2 to 3 schools. If I was like, I need you to work full time. I said, if you're going to give me an official car with a house, I won't collect the job. The place 60.
360,000 naira. How do you intend to pay her?
That was what I told her.
I'll work out an arrangement of payment by installment every month. That is it. That's the best you can have. The other way is,
I withdraw from my jobs.
Don't waste my time. She's right in front of you. Work out an arrangement with her. If you can't, then you've admitted you are owing 360,000.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to pay the 360,000 naira.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the 360 was what I invested. So we have an MOU agreement or...
It's a 360 you are getting back. I explain to you.
Okay.
First of all, you know, with Nigerian law, you are not permitted to take money from people to invest in Forex. You can only use your own money. So what you've done is illegal, first of all. It's just that she decided to bring the matter to the court as a civil matter. So you need to understand the implication of what you have done. Now, for you, you do not have the money lender's license to loan money and obtain interest on it. Do you have? That's why you cannot take interest as well. But the money you have given him, you are entitled to collect your 360,000 naira back. Do you understand? So face her now and work out something. Otherwise, I'll give my judgment and we call on the next case.
Okay, what I'm going to do is probably I'll be paying you 13,000 every month, please.
That's too small because my rent is already overdue.
Tell him how much you want, then you start from there. Be reasonable too. You know the financial position right now.
Yes.
So,
if you can start with 50, then maybe 30 going forward. Because I need to complete my rent for this year, which is already expired last month.
I won't deceive you. I don't have 50. Because what I'm earning presently is not even up to 50. Because I only have one school I'm teaching. Then school, I'm a music teacher as a part-time job. They might come in this coming session being here, we don't need your service again. So that's why I said 10, because if I'm going to do anything, I can still manage to rally around to start paying you 10,000 every month.
I just need something a bit big for at least this month. Then going forward, whether 10 or 20, I don't mind. But at least this month, I need something tangible so that I can top up for my rent. That's just what
this month, schools is on holiday, so there's no work for part-time teachers. So I'm just sitting there, I'm just studying. Then I told you, I left about 3 jobs when I was in Lekki, all in the name of, just going to learn this stuff. Then I told you earlier, Bitcoin is going to drop down. When it drops, I'm going to keep everything for everybody so I can sell to everybody once within a year. So let me just start with 10, please.
Work out something, because it wasn't until when the investment got stuck that you made her to realize that there's a mother company. She never knew about a mother company. She believed she was investing with you.
I mentioned it, but she was...
You told her?
I mentioned
Okay, she said
she didn't tell me. He even said he was going to train me.
If I have up to that, I will give her.
You've passed beyond this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agree. I don't have time for all this. So either you agree or I don't know.
10,000 is too small, Venga.
I won't deceive you. That's what I can afford to start paying.
Welcome back, guys. The only thing I can just say about this video that you just recently watched is that anything that has to do with all this forex, all this MMM, all this Bitcoin, it's highly risky. I don't know. I know a lot of people are doing it and they are making money in this kind of investment, but you have to know that you have enough before you can invest some into this kind of a program, because all this program you are looking at is a program that you don't need to spend for everything you have on. If you have 500, make sure you can put at least 150 or 200 on any investment so that you can back up with the reset money. But you went ahead to put all your capitals in investment. What do you really think? This is an investment and it's an online investment. What do you think if the investment crash and if any issues happen to the investment? How are you going to survive? Recently, do you know that a lot of issues happen to those people who are doing Bitcoin as Bitcoin crashes and it affects millions of people? A lot of people who their investment worth 50 million naira are now having just 5 million naira. What do you really think about that when you invested a huge amount of money into an investment and at end you are the loser? You have to open up your sense and your brain when you want to invest anything or any money into any platform. That is just the update I have for you guys about this video, and don't also forget to share it to another people so that they can also learn from it. May God bless you as you do so, and I will see you in another video. Peace out.